Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thanks for joining me. Well, today we're going to create a project for Spellbinders using the Glimmer kit of the month for December. This month's kit is called Glimmer Mix Match, and there are 6 glimmer plates in total. The nice thing about this set is they're mix and matchable, which makes it really fun. You get 6 glimmer plates like I mentioned, and 2 of them have sentiments on there. This one says happy birthday, and then the other one says a big thank you. And then there's 2 that have some flourishes on there. This one here has a beautiful roses, I should say. There's more than one. This one here has some real pretty leaves. And then our third one here has a berry flourish on there. So it could be cranberries, cherries, it could be any kind of round fruit basically. I'm going to turn mine into oranges today. But these are nice because they're made to interact with each other. So you could foil one fruit flourish, flip it around and foil the other side so you have a complete oval of fruit. You can do the same thing with the leaves and the same thing with the flowers. You can mix and match them just like the name of the Glimmer plate set this month, but I just thought that was so neat. Okay. It also comes with a sentiment that's in block letters. It says from me to you, and then there is 1 cutting die this month in the Glimmer plate set, so it'll cut out that sentiment. Okay, so that is everything in the kit. Except for the foil here. This month we get a beautiful silver foil, and I'm not going to open this one up just yet because I already have one open and we're going to use it for a project today. I want to use up the one that I have before I open another one. But we are going to jump in. We're just going to use the fruit glimmer plate, the glimmer plate that says a big thank you, and then the block letter that says from me to you. I'm going to start off by taking some white cardstock, and I'm going to add both my glimmer plates together, creating my oval, kind of centering it. Once I'm happy with the placement, I'm going to use my low tack tape and tape them down. You can completely skip this step, but I like it because I can actually use it as a guide. I wanted to color in my background today, and so I wanted to color in just the inside of my oval. So this is going to leave an imprint. It's going to deboss my panel so I know exactly where the inside of my oval is to add some color behind it. But I'll tape this down. I am going to use my embossing mat. Now I'm not going to use my blue embossing plate. It was too thick, so I just used my clear plate and it worked out perfectly. It gave me a light debossed on my panel. You can see it here. Okay, now we're going to scoot over our machine. I'm going to bring in my glimmer machine and then add my plates. I'm adding them to a piece of printer paper that measures 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then next I'm going to take some vellum. I'm going to trim it down into, basically I'm going to trim it in quarters. It's going to give me a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panel. We're going to glimmer foil on our vellum today. I thought that would be really fun. So I added my vellum. Since it's thinner, I'm going to bring in a piece of cardstock and place that over the vellum, and then I'll build my sandwich with my shim and then my my paper shims and my top plate here. Okay, we are going to run this through. Our timer stopped flashing, so we should have a beautiful foiled piece of vellum here. Let's just remove this. I always go slow when I remove the vellum. It's like a reveal. I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but I just think it's so pretty. This foiled perfectly. I just love the way this turned out. Okay, we're going to remove this. I can't seem to find my tweezers, so I'm just going to use my hands. The last person I seen with my tweezers was my daughter. She said, "Mom, these look like the tweezers that were in the game Operation." So she probably has them. But I'm gonna foil my sentiment that says from me to you, and we're gonna scoot over our platinum sticks here, and then I want to take my scissors. We're gonna fussy cut around our vellum piece, not the inside, just the outside. I'm gonna go ahead and it's pretty easy to do. I'm gonna leave a little bit of a border, but just fussy cut around it. This way I can just have a little bit of detail. Okay, my other part of my sentiment's ready to go. I'm going to bring back my Platinum 6 and we're going to run this through our die cutting machine. We're going to foil this, and this foiled beautifully as well. And this one I just did not on vellum but white cardstock from ETU. Okay, that's all the foiling that we're doing. So I'm going to set my machine off to the side. We are going to take the coordinating die for this sentiment, and then I'm going to make sure it's centered, and then we are going to die cut this out. Now once I have this die cut out, I'm going to flip it over and add a couple of foam squares behind it, and we're going to place this in directly in the center of our vellum piece, and I think that looks fabulous. Okay, I have our background piece that we debossed. I'm going to trim it down just a little bit because this is card front size. I'm just going to trim basically about a 1/4 inch off. Now since there is I wanted it centered too, so I just took a little bit off the left, a little bit off the right, and then did the same with the top and bottom. Okay, so our panel is ready to go. I have a little black dot on here, little piece of fuzz. I'm going to take my Copic marker and we're going to color in our oranges here. I'm going to use YR07, and I'm coloring on the back side of the vellum. This is so nice because it doesn't interrupt your foiling, but it adds color behind it. I think this would be really pretty with the roses too, guys. Next I'm going to use my YG09, and we're going to color in all of the leaves. And there's something about oranges and leaves that just look so refreshing, and so that's what I was going for, a clean and refreshing card today. But I just love the way this turned out. Okay, we're going to flip this over. You can see how it stands out against our white background, but I wanted a little extra color behind our sentiment. So what I'm going to do is bring in my distress ink cubes. This is just a little mini distress ink cubes. This is peacock feathers. I'm going to use my blending tool, and I'm just adding my color on the inside of that oval. This is where it comes in handy for me. I just wanted the teal on the inside, and then once I'm happy with this, I'm going to bring in my Twisted Citron distress ink cube, and I'm going to go around the edges just so there's a little halo that's going to be forming around my vellum piece, just to give it extra softness. And these two colors really blend well together too. I'm just kind of making sure it's a nice oval shape, because with the vellum you can see through everything. And I think this is going to work out great. Okay, love these colors. Next I'm going to flip over. Well, actually I'm going to take my corner rounder. Let's take our background panel and corner round each one of these corners. I think it would look nice too if you used an embossing folder after you colored it, to add a little added texture, since there's a lot of white. But I thought the rounded corners would be a nice little touch. I went ahead and added my my vellum directly to my panel. Just used a piece of double-sided tape for that, and then I rounded the corners on my card base, which is a standard A2 size card base. We're going to flip over this panel. I'm going to add my tape runner to it. Normally I pop it up, but I'm going for a clean and simple look. Plus it'll be easy to mail too. I'm going to go ahead and tape this down to my card front. And I just think it looks so soft and refreshing. I decided it needed a little bit more orange, so I found some orange and white baker's twine, and I just tied a bow off to the right here, bringing out a little bit more of that orange. And then I'm going to add a little sparkle with some gems. We're going to add just a few in the upper left here, and then a few on the bottom right. And then that finishes off my card for today, guys. I thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a fabulous day. And oh, last but not least, I did add my journey glaze. I wasn't sure how this was going to act, so I actually added a little bit to it earlier. I was afraid it was going to warp, but it dried beautifully, so I added a little bit more just to fill it in more, just to give those oranges a little bit more dimension. But that's my card. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.